formed every day. But, so don't get discouraged with that, but Italy it's really difficult to learn because some of the places, the wines will say it'll give you like the city instead of the grape. So like people will be like, oh, I want a Chianti. Chianti is actually a region. It's the grape is Sangiovese in there. A lot of the Chiantis won't say Sangiovese on the bottle, and it has to be, I want to say 70 to 75% Sangiovese in a Chianti bottle in order for it to be considered Chianti. But it can be mixed with Merlot or Cabernet. A lot of those noble Bordeaux wines, they just use that. Okay, let me start over. The Chianti, a lot of people to export it, our palates over here are a lot different than the palates from the region, from Italy. A lot of their wines, if you go over there to drink it, it's going to be drier, more earthy, more deeper. And over here, they in order to export it and to get the sales over here, that's why they typically blend with other grapes in there. So that helps a little bit. The easiest way for me to learn about it is to actually think of Italy on a map, right? And I like to compare it to, like, let's say California, because it's longer, right? So up in the northern side, it's colder. There's harsher winters, so you're gonna grow the things that you would think like would be in Germany, right? Or something that's more north, so you get the colder things, the Proseccos, the Rieslings, there's Pinot Grigios are up in there too. And then as you keep going down, you get more and more deeper because of the way that the sun and the heat grows the grapes. And the climate, this is more towards land, but you get like a Mediterranean kind of a feel in the mid area. So you're gonna have more medium bodies. The Tuscany is here, and Chianti is the wine from Tuscany. That's where it's originated. That's where Chianti is located, in there, and that's Sangiovese grape from Chianti. So it's gonna be more medium bodied. And then you go down further. I can send you over this. I was gonna print it out, but with the roads, I didn't get there. I didn't get to the printers.
But we have a map at the door, and I think it says the wine and the 1 year.
And it gets so complicated because there's so many. There's about 3,000 grapes, different grape varieties that are grown in Italy. So it's really hard to say that this one particular grape is better from this area, or to say like these 5 grapes come from this area and those 4 grapes come from this area. But there are areas where they grow better. So like Sangiovese grows better in Chianti region. Sidebar, Chianti, the 3 different types. There's Chianti, Chianti Classico, and then Reserva.
Oh, okay.
So like this is a Chianti, this is a Chianti Classico. The wicker ones are all going to be like your table wines, or those are going to be your Chiantis. And then once it goes to the bottles, most of them, and the DOCG kind of plays in there too, but not 100%. They'll always be labeled with DOC or DOCG. Chianti Classico, really great drinking. Reserva means that they did something a little bit different with that Chianti. So either they aged it longer, or they were sitting on it somewhere and they just pulled that back out. There's for some reason what they labeled it.
And the roosters from the rooster that you don't find in that bottle, but you find in the other bottle.
Right. For the rooster.
Right there.
That's a
That's a symbol for the better Chianti.
Right. From that region, it's from the Chianti region, because there's places in Italy that'll grow Sangiovese.
But it's not considered Chianti.
Right.
It's only 9 counties in Tuscany that can use their grape to make Chianti.
So there's no rooster in there.
Well, not on the cheaper one, but it is on the other one.
I can't remember. I think
No.
if I remember correctly,
No
the
rooster.
story
No,
of
there's
the
no
rooster.
rooster in there.
They're trying to figure out the regions, and they let a rooster free. And where the rooster stopped is where they decided to have the regions.
Oh.
Basically, is where that came from.
I don't know.
So that's why they threw a rooster on
Sounds
the
good.
label.
That's
Right.
what that'd be us.
Right. I mean, there's a whole story behind it, but that's the basic knowledge of it.
There's also a story about
Well, we
smoking
went to
roosters.
Roca de la Machia winery, and they got an enormous rooster. It's taller than this building, parked right in front of their door, the selling door, to tell you that their wine is one of the ones that displays the rooster.
That we are the best.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to confuse too much. Okay, so Chianti. There's
Mon-
Brunello de Montalcino, or Montalcino.
Montalcino, you said it right.
Brunello is the grape. Brunello means
Dark,
little brown.
little
Yeah.
brown.
So it's a little brown, but it's similar. It's like a clone of Sangiovese.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a baby Sangiovese of Montalcino. So it's that grape from that area. This is why it gets really freaking confusing. And then there's Brunello and Barbaresco and Barbera. These ones are all big names that you would see. Barolo and Barbaresco are cities like Chianti is, but they're often labeled as a Barolo and Barbaresco, but the grape is actually Nebbiolo.
And we actually have them all. So, if you
Right.
get familiar, take a manual with you, the wine manual, so you get they're going to make more sense now than they were before tonight.
And then there's
The inside, not the outside.
right,
We have the inside copies.
there's Barbera. Barbera is a grape, but on the label it'll say
Barbera
Barbera de Alba or Barbera de Asti, and it's from
Right.
those areas.
location.
Right.
Doesn't mean that it's a sparkling wine.
Right.
Right.
Not to be confused.
Asti is the name of a
Yes.
town.
Right.
But people think Asti is the
Always
the
gonna be
champagne.
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
Right.
No, no.
And it's not like you can't think of it as being sweeter or anything like that because
No.
it's not.
It's just where it's from.
A general rule that I like to think about, it's not like technical or anything, but Barolo and Barbaresco are okay. So you go further down south in Italy, so it's going to be a bigger, more heavier wine because there's more direct sun getting to it. And then Barbera is like Barbera, I would say, is like, I hate to use these terms, but it's more feminine. So it's a little bit more delicate. So like Barbera is a sister of Barolo, or
The gentler,
yeah.
the gentler
the
side.
gentler one of it. That's how I like to remember it because it gets so complicated. So we've talked.
But as
Chianti.
long as you know
Right.
what, yes.
So you got Bruno and Barbara.
Brunello is an expensive one. That
Yeah,
we
it's
we
gonna
have the
always
group
be
from
something
Italy. They
expensive.
come here. I don't know. It's excuse me. In Barolo, we sell them. I think $80 a bottle. We don't sell a lot of them, but usually the people that order one, they order a second one and a third one.
Barolo is always going to be expensive. Even
Yes.
if you go over to Italy and you find a small mom and pop vineyard,
They're
Barolo is
expensive.
still going to be the expensive one. And it's
Right.
more on like the super expensive side, like $75 and above.
Mm-hmm.
For just a one little bottle like that?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a smaller bottle.
Yeah.
I have a bottle.
So then,
They got bottles of vodka.
It better
That's
have gold in it.
She's like, give me
No,
some
have you guys
GD.
ever even seen that? It's
So just think, you sell a bottle of $80, $16 should tip.
yeah.
$16 should tip, 20%.
Okay, so Chianti.
Look at it that way.
all right.
Barolo, Barbaresco is actually Nebbiolo. Barbera di Asti, Barbera de Alba is a Barbera grape,
Mm-hmm.
but Barbera is in a city. That's why it gets so freaking confusing. It's really hard. You have to listen to it like 14 times
Yeah.
to really figure it out. Like,
It's gonna take
okay,
a
so-
Yeah, but they're
Right.
not going to become sommelier. They're going to
No,
sell wine
right.
and Ninos. That's what
right,
counts.
as long as you can kind of grasp it, and look at a map, it's a lot easier. So like up here, Chianti, right? Sangiovese. Sangiovese is also grown down here. Down here typically is more, that's where they do more blending with Cabernets and Merlots. And then you come all the way down to Sicily, right?
Yep.
Nero d'Avola, that's the grape that is produced there. It's
Only in
only
Sicily.
there.
Only in
It's the
Sicily.
biggest exported grape underneath Chianti. It originally started as just a blending grape, but then they realized that it's kind of a similar to a Cabernet in style, but more dirty. And they have a little bit more fruit flavor characteristics to it, so it can be perceived as lighter, but it's comparable to a Cabernet as long as you can explain it to the guests that it's comparable to it, but it's going to be a little bit
That's our number one
more
Lighter.
it's gonna be lighter. There's more maritime climate, right? So there's more airflow going through it. It's not direct sunlight beating down just like you would in Napa.
Mm-hmm.
There's more. Does that make sense? That's why it really helps looking at a map to figure out where everything is and how winds would be and how where
So
you
our
think it would
narrows
be.
are Sicily-born grapes.
Yeah.
It's a
Only.
grape indigenous of Sicily.
To just
Only
Sicily.
grows in
No,
Sicily.
Oh.
Yeah.
I knew it
It
was.
looks like a Yoda.
I didn't know specifically. just
Oh,
Sicily.
yes, that's the only way.
There's.
It's like the Chianti only in Tuscany. You know, California can try to make them, but it's not
It's not
called
doing the
Chianti.
same. Right.
It's
And
like
it's not the
champagne
same.
can only be made in the Champagne region of France. It can't be made anywhere else and be called champagne. It's called sparkling wine.
And what I tell them when they want to know why this, well, in Sicily we have 8 out of 10 days of sunshine. So can you do the same grape here in Michigan? No, because we have 2 out of 10
Right.
sunshine. No?
Pinot Grigio, Prosecco, Moscato, all those more white grapes would be more north because it's cooler, it's easier to grow those. The deeper you get, like it goes all the way down to Sicily where you get the Nero. I know that was a lot. That was a lot, and Italy is really, really difficult to learn.
Yeah, that's
I found this map on, I don't know, some random wine website. It said wine maps of Italy, and that's how I Googled that to find that on your own time. There's also this really cool podcast. Does anybody listen to podcasts?
no.
If you know
I've heard
how,
of it.
It's been a while.
there's this really cool
It was
podcast.
yesterday.
No, well, have you ever listened to Serial? That's a great podcast.
I don't even know what a
Yes.
podcast is. So
I don't either.
sorry.
I don't
That's
feel
how
bad.
technology
It's
I
talk
am.
radio. Basically
Yeah, it's
talk.
basically talk.
I know
radio.
Dr. Phil has
But-
one.
They have a lot of like this one is the introduction to Italian wine. Like they have, it's just knowledge. You can Google podcasts or like on my Google Play, it's just like instead of music library, you go to podcasts. And this was a nice purple button.
It's called Italian wines?
This one is called Introduction to Italian Wines.
Okay.
I just in the search engine, I just typed Italian wines and under the podcasts. There's a lot of information. There's also this podcast called Wine for Normal People. And it really breaks things down really, really nicely. So if you're just, at home doing laundry or whatever, just throw it on.
Mhm.
I haven't listened to it through Amazon because I'm just not that intelligent of how to figure it out through
Well,
through
the Apple,
Amazon,
the iTunes
right.
store, you can listen
Yeah.
to the podcast.
Apple, really great resource for it, and Google Play also has the podcasts. It's really, really, really great at explaining things, and it helps out a
So
whole
you
lot.
just go to your apps button and search podcasts.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's basically like talk radio.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
each-
it's essentially
each-
talk radio.
Each podcast it pretty much has
Or
its
in your
own
search
genre,
search bar on top, podcast Italian wine, and see what it
Alright, so
takes
we're
you.
drinking.
Oh boy, I've never done that before.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
You can smell